Hi, this is Debbie. I am making a video tutorial to show you how to make the pop-up Easter card that I just posted on my blog yesterday. I designed this cutting file, which I called Mirror Steps. And here's what it looks like when it's all folded and everything. And then after I made it, even though I liked it just looking just like this, I decided to go a little step further and add some other things. So I put a slit in it and everything so I can make that pop-up card. I'm just going to grab that real quick so I can show it to you again. Okay, this is the pop-up card. And of course, this could be used for any season. I just decided to do it for Easter since Easter's just right around the corner. And then when you open it up pops your bunny. Of course, I need to tuck him back in there. I've opened and closed this one so much. I don't have him all the way down in the slit. And I wanted to tell you this too while I'm thinking of it. When you get your file, okay, the bunny I'm going to use today is about 2 inches tall and maybe 1.5 inches wide. And this little bunny here is a little bit smaller. And you want to make sure not to make them too big, because when you fold them over, you see how the ears, let me show you, see how the ears are very close to the edge? Well, you don't want your image popping up over the edge after you put your card front on. So make sure that your graphic is just the right size. And so when it pops up, people won't see what's going to come out before it comes out. So anyway, that's the card I'm going to show you today. And I'm going to start out by telling you about this folded part. Okay, this is the second or third time I've done this video. It's just been a crazy day. So instead of starting all over from scratch, I'm going to show you. When it comes out of your cutting file, it's kind of nice and stiff. And remember, you don't have to use super heavy cardstock to do this. As a matter of fact, it might be better to use a lighter weight cardstock because it's easier to get these creases in there. And then your cover can be heavier. So what you do is when you get it out, you want to start kind of like pressing on these little perforated areas here, just pressing on that because you know that's going to go in, and then you kind of want to start pushing a little bit up on your file, and you can even flip it over from the back side and kind of push on the ones that are going to be going outward, right? And you can see that where the perforations are, and then you could bring it back around front, and you want to start pushing on it till you start getting that. Just push and push till you start getting the elevation. And then you can go back over and just kind of pinch these little seams here. Pinch them like this. And then the center part, you just kind of bring it up and fold it over. And so you do this part first. And you kind of flatten this section out, your top part. And then you flip it over and you work on the other side, doing the same thing. Creasing it kind of with your finger or bone folder, and then pushing down on it, going from the back, doing the same thing, running your fingers down there on those little perforated areas, and then do the same thing. And then once you get them both together, both kind of pushed out, you want to bring those together like this, kind of sandwich them together. And then at this point, this is where you're going to fold these little end tabs, these little card pieces here. So then you want to push, get it nice and easy. And anyway, so your card, this portion of the pop-up card should look like this. And then you can always go back around and make these even crisper edges. And I just going over and just checking a little bit of everything. And so when you're done, your little insert should look like this. And it should fold nice and flat. And you can always go around and press on these edges to make sure it's going to be nice and flat. And then again, open it up. So one more time, I'm going to show you what your card insert, the mirror steps, should look like when it's folded correctly. So that's what it should look like. And this is what it should look like when it's all done. So now we're going to go on to the actual making of the card. And I only did one side of this so I can show you. Okay, once again, I've just done this one side, and this is a heavy cardstock, so it's kind of a little bit tougher to work with, but I wanted to use something heavy, and I wanted to use something bright for this video. So here I go. I got glue all over my nails again. And I actually did them for the video, but it's a 60-second glue. Fingernail polish. And I think I gave it 30 seconds to dry. So see how I'm kind of just pushing on this side here. And I'm trying to make sure it's crisp. And I'm going to flip it over and go from the back, pushing that in. Pushing that. I'm giving it a crispness. And I don't know if you can see this. I'm trying to look at the video camera and do this at the same time. Okay. I'm starting to get a little shape, so I can start like just kind of pushing around on this a little bit. And of course you would be taking your time for your card, and I'm just trying to hurry up and get this done. So it's not going to be as neat as your card. So, making sure that those little perforations that I have there on this cutting file are nice and crisp is probably the most important part, and it will all come together. So now that I have this pushed out well enough for now, I'm going to kind of, like I said, bring it together there in the middle, kind of sandwich those pieces together, and I let go of that. And then I'm going to push, going back around, making sure all these little perforations are nice and crisp as I'm holding it like this. See, I'm just pushing on those perforated. This is where I'll get a cleaner fold. And then I'm going to come back around the front, push on these again. So the folding part is really easy. It's just a matter of getting used to what you're doing. So then, once I get these all done, I'm just going to kind of push it kind of flat and then pop it open to see what it looks like. And for this particular card that you're going to add embellishments on, it doesn't have to be exactly perfect, all of your little perforations. So there you go. That is going to be the base of this Easter card. And remember, it's supposed to look like this if it's folded correctly. So now we're going to get started. The main thing that everyone has asked me about is about this little T shape that comes in the cutting file. I've sent a lot of these files out and already received a lot of emails asking me to make this video. So, okay. So you make sure that you have this T. And it's an inverted T actually. And this is going to go up in that little slit. And as I said earlier, this little slit, I need to see what I'm doing here. Push this up. Well, it goes in there really. Let me just get up closer. That's what I get for having bifocals. Okay, this goes under your card. So you see, you'll have something looking like this. Now, you'll grab your graphic. And you know when this card goes down, and then you want it to pop up with your graphic, your bunny, whatever you choose to use for your card. So this is the trickiest part of making this card, trying to figure out exactly where you want this fold at the top to be. Now I know that right here at the base I want it to fold, so I'm going to just see, kind of like there's a little loop there. Can you see that? Okay, so it's going to go right here to the edge of this top part of the mirror step cutting file. And then I'm just going to kind of crease it right here. So I know when my file goes down. So there. So I've got that little bit of an edge. Can you see that? I'll show you from the side. That's how much I creased it. I brought the loop up, I leveled it right here with this back edge, and then I just kind of folded it over and gave it a little pinch. Okay, now I'm going to go over here and grab my Aleene's Turbo Tacky Glue. I love this stuff, and it does dry pretty fast, and it's really strong. But this time for the video, I'm going to take the cap out of my mouth. I'm running low on this stuff, and I use it to do lots of crafting, because it even holds material on. out really nicely. Okay, now let me get this glue off my finger. I'm a crafter, but I'm not a neat one. Okay. So I want to let this set for just a little bit to adhere to the card. And it doesn't take too long. And then in the meantime, I can go ahead and decide where I want my little bunny to be. I didn't glue that on really straight. It's so hard to do this and then make sure that it's still on camera. I'm just going to guesstimate and say he should go right about there. And I'm just going to make another little pinch right there because that keeps me balanced. And I'm going to add some glue again to the back of my, well, actually I'm going to add it here. No, I'm going to add it to my bunny because sometimes I put too much. There. I'll place my bunny right on the edge. And we're going to let them set up for a little bit. So while that's setting up, I'm going to start taking my eggs and gluing them to the edges here of the little steps. And all you want to do when you're starting to add your little embellishments for your card, it gives it that pretty dimension, is just put some on the very edge of your elements. And mine for this card has been the eggs since it's all about Easter. Doesn't take much of this glue to do a good job either, so as we're doing this, I'm just going to go ahead and glue along and add these little things. So I do like to give these a little bit of a chance to dry, even with the Turbo Tacky glue. Sometimes you think things are all set to go, and voila. And like I said, this is my third or maybe fourth time trying to make this video, so I've got a lot of files today because the first time I did the whole thing and realized that I forgot to hit the record button. Just sitting there like talking to myself. So I feel better knowing I'm talking to you all. This is another cutting file that my husband just loved, and when he likes things, he works with all women. Well, there's one man there. He takes them into work to show them. So I get a lot of support when it comes to my crafting. To have a husband that is. And then the little Happy Easter for this little front panel. If you want to put a message or whatever, just make sure that you make it to fit right here in the center, like I did. And these graphics I got from PC Crafter, and all the details are on my blog. It's so hard to find them now. I just love PC Crafter's HUD Club, and I was pretty addicted to getting graphics, so I have plenty of them, but I just miss that place so much. But ProvoCraft shut them down. Shut that part of their business down. How sad. And then with these upper eggs, I'm going to grab some from over here they're still on my cutting mat. I just kind of placed them the same way in between. Just putting a little dab of glue there on the very, very edge, because glue another one. Except for that was on the wrong side. Let me wipe that off real quick. Put it on this side, because it's going on the left side. Now you know why my fingernails always look bad and why I always have glue all over them. From my little boo-boos I make. I grab me a paper towel over here. And so anyway, as this is coming together, you can see how it's working, and this should be dry enough. Now, when you first close this or whatever, I push this down inside this little slit. And once again, you can make that slit larger if you want, ungroup it. Just drag that to make the slit open a little bit more, and then make sure that you group it all back together again. Okay, so now I'm just going to close this part down. I'm going to smoosh everything, and I'm not going to finish the upper part decorating because you know how you want everything. And as you notice, the reason why it's really important to make sure that your graphic image is the right size, because when it's folded down, you see a little bit of this bunny ear sticking up out of here. Well, that's okay because it's going to have a card cover that will cover that. But if it was sticking way out, say we had the bunny ears sticking way out like that, it would stick over the edge of your card, and that would ruin the surprise, and it wouldn't look too good either. So, there. Now we have a bunny that's popping up. Voila. Okay. Now, to put it on your, and this is a very flimsy cardstock that I grabbed, but after my third time of doing this, or maybe four, I just gave up. I grabbed whatever I could get my hands on. Okay, now I'm going to get to this part because this is pretty important too. A lot of people, when they use these kind of pop-up files, they want to know how to put them together. What I do is I just simply put some glue, or I use my ATG gun and put my tape on there. But for this video, it's easier to show you using glue. I just put it on the edges. And with thinner cardstock, like I'm on my cover, I would use my ATG gun to put down, because there's sometimes glue kind of like bubbles through or shows through, and it doesn't look nice. But for this video, I'm just going to put this glue on the very edges. Okay. Now, with glue all over my hands again, tell you, I can't stay clean when I'm crafting. Okay, I'm going to line this up where I want it, and that looks good to me. See how you line it up? And then, instead of, all I do is just push, make sure it's lined up, and then I just push the cover closed. And kind of smash it all down so it gets nice and sticky to that. Okay, so there you go. So that's one side of it glued. Then all you do is do the same thing. You just open this side here. See, our little T is right here. Make sure you don't glue any part of that down, that's for sure. Okay, and then I'm just going to do this to the other side, glue the edges. And I'm just going to quickly go over this real fast. This video's getting kind of long, and I'm not sure how long YouTube will let me put of a video on it. Okay. I'm doing the same thing. Just kind of put the glue on there and smooth it all down. And I'm going to check on my graphics, make sure they're not sticking up over the edge. Okay. So here we go. Here's our cover, plain as can be. Of course, I have cut out a lot of little things that I can use on the little chick that I shared on my blog. I might just pop one of those on this one. And then let's go ahead and take a look and see how your card and my card looks. So here we go. Voila! Our little bunny. It's all tucked down in there. And then, So the key things on this, making this card, is to make sure that you line this piece up with the back, fold it there, and make the slit large enough, if your graphic is wider than mine, to readjust your graphic. Don't make it too big because you don't want it hanging over the edge. And use your embellishments when you pick your embellishments out to adhere to the back here. Make sure that they also won't hang over the edge when they're all at it. The back ones here, or whatever, on my other card, let me go and grab that real quick and I'll show you. Okay, these here are glued to the edges of these, as I showed in my last video. This one is glued to the edge of the bottom step on the top part of the stairs. And these are just glued to the background. And it gives a lot of like nice flow to it and everything. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed the cutting file that I made for you all. And remember, it can be used for a lot more than just Easter. Happy crafting, everyone. I'll see you on the Silhouette Plus forum or on my blog. Have a great day now. Bye.